Admiral Vexthara's mandibles clicked in amusement as she observed the tactical display aboard her flagship. The Sovereign's wrath. Spread across the void before them was the most formidable armada the hegemony had ever assembled. 12,000 warships representing 47 species, each vessel bristling with weapons that could crack moons and shields that had never been breached. And there, at the edge of their sensor range, sat a single human ship. "Magnify the target," Vexthara commanded, her 4 eyes glinting with predatory satisfaction. The main view screen shimmered, revealing what appeared to be little more than a metal cylinder barely 300 meters long. No visible weapons ports, no shield generators, no escort fleet. Just a lone, unremarkable vessel that the humans had designated as the Defiant. The bridge erupted in chittering laughter from her crew. Commander Zeklos, her tactical officer, wiped a tear from his primary eye. "Admiral, surely this is some kind of joke. The humans send a single cargo hauler against our grand fleet?" Vexthara's amusement faded slightly. She had studied the humans extensively since their recent emergence onto the galactic stage. They were a primitive species, barely 2 centuries into space travel. Their weapons crude projectile launchers and primitive fusion devices. Their ships were slow, their technology laughably outdated. Yet something nagged at her, a whisper of unease she couldn't quite identify. "Open a channel," she ordered. The human captain's face appeared on screen, a stern-faced woman with graying hair and eyes like chips of ice. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Corps vessel Defiant. You are trespassing in human space. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." The bridge erupted in fresh laughter. Vexthara herself couldn't suppress a chittering giggle. "Captain Chen, I am Admiral Vexthara of the Galactic Hegemony. You are outnumbered 12,000 to 1. Your entire species fleet numbers fewer than 100 vessels. Surrender now, and we may allow your people to serve as laborers in our empire." Captain Chen's expression didn't change. "I'll give you 30 seconds to begin your withdrawal." "Or what?" Vexthara leaned forward, thoroughly entertained. "Or I'll demonstrate why that would have been the wiser choice." The transmission ended. Around the bridge, officers exchanged glances of disbelief and mirth. Commander Zeklos pulled up the tactical analysis. "Admiral, their ship shows no energy signatures consistent with weapons of any kind. Our sensors detect only a small crew of 12 humans. This has to be some form of elaborate bluff." Vexthara nodded, but that nagging feeling persisted. In her centuries of conquest, she had learned to trust her instincts. "Maintain defensive positions, but prepare to—" "Admiral!" The sensor operator's voice cracked with excitement. "The human vessel is powering something up. Massive energy signature building in their forward section." The laughter died as every eye turned to the tactical display. The small human ship, so insignificant moments before, now glowed like a star on their sensors. Energy readings climbed beyond anything in their databases. "Impossible," Zeklos whispered. "Those readings would require a power plant the size of a moon." "Evasive maneuvers," Vexthara barked, her humor completely evaporated. "All ships scatter formation." "Maximum." The human ship fired. It wasn't a beam, wasn't a projectile, wasn't anything the hegemony's vast military experience had prepared them for. Reality itself seemed to hiccup. Space twisted, folded, and for one impossible instant the laws of physics held their breath. When the distortion cleared, 2,000 ships simply weren't there anymore. Not destroyed, absent, as if they had never existed at all. The remaining 10,000 vessels hung motionless in space, their crews staring in stunned silence at empty void where their comrades had been. No debris, no energy signatures. No trace that anything had ever occupied that space. Captain Chen's voice crackled across all frequencies, calm and professional. "I'm reopening the channel for 30 more seconds. I suggest you use them wisely." Admiral Vexthara stared at the impossible readings, her mind struggling to process what she had witnessed. In 3 centuries of warfare spanning hundreds of conquered worlds, she had never seen technology that could simply delete matter from existence. "Admiral," her communications officer whispered, "the other fleet commanders are requesting orders." Vexthara looked at her tactical display, at the remaining ships of her grand armada, then at the small human vessel that somehow contained the power to erase fleets from existence. She thought of the 47 species who had contributed to this force, each believing their combined might was unstoppable. She thought of the hegemony's plans for human subjugation, their careful strategies and overwhelming numbers, all of it rendered meaningless by 12 humans in a metal tube. Signal fleet-wide retreat, she said quietly. Admiral? Zeklos couldn't hide his shock. Surely we can overwhelm them with numbers. One ship cannot, Commander. Vexithara's voice cut through his protest like a blade. That one ship just removed 1/6 of our fleet from existence without raising their shields or altering course. They did it as easily as you might swat an insect. And judging by their power readings, they're prepared to do it again. She turned to the communications officer. Transmit on all frequencies. The galactic hegemony formally withdraws from human space. All vessels are to retreat beyond the outer marker buoys and maintain that distance until further notice. As her fleet began its hasty withdrawal, Vexithara kept her eyes locked on the Defiant. It hung there motionless, watching their retreat with what she could only imagine was satisfaction. No pursuit, no demands for surrender. Just a quiet demonstration that sometimes the smallest package contained the greatest surprises. Later, in her private quarters, she would update her report to the Hegemony Council. She would recommend immediate elevation of humanity from primitive conquest target to species requiring diplomatic contact. She would suggest that perhaps their initial assessment of human capabilities had been incomplete, but first, she watched as the last of her ships cleared human space, leaving only empty void and the lingering question of what other surprises this young species might be hiding in their unremarkable metal ships. The humans, it seemed, had just redefined the galactic balance of power with a single shot, and they had done it while laughing last.